Just over a week ago, the FDA approved the first digital prescription pill. What that means is that they're going to be able to monitor if and when people take their medication. It's pretty scary. So, what does this all mean? Why am I doing a video on this? Well, first of all, it's a pretty big step forward in the wrong direction. And there are some obvious concerns, which some of them are addressed in this New York Times article, but I want to also point out things that the article doesn't really get into, and those are my major concerns. Obviously, there are some concerns about privacy, about the doctors coercing patients into taking medications that they don't want to take, and things like that. But besides that, what else could be the harm? Well, it's funny that the article doesn't mention anything about, like, could it be bad that we take pills with sensors in them? It's like it doesn't, they don't even question it. People just, oh, if the FDA approved it, it must be fine, right? What about all the stuff that FDA has recalled? Every drug that's killed lots of people, even one person, was approved by the FDA, so that is an issue in and of itself. We're going further and further down this rabbit hole of eating unnatural things that aren't meant to be ingested. Our body isn't designed to ingest pills with sensors on them that let the doctors know if they took them or not. We're getting into a weird, dark, concerning place where, they're giving you pills with sensors in them. It's freaky, So I'm doing a video on it. So what's the problem here? Well, you have to be able to read the writing on the walls. So what I'm wanting to do is point this out from a bigger, like a bird's eye view. And that way you can see what's going on, because we keep on going down the road of less freedom, less privacy, and giving up power to the government, giving up power to Big Pharma, who are in bed together. And all you gotta do is look at the revolving door, look at the conflicts of interest when you look at the advisory boards for the group of people who decide whether or not a vaccine gets entered into the schedule. The CDC, the head of the CDC, Julie Gerberding, leaving the CDC to go work for Merck's vaccine division. So that's the problem, is this teamwork, this connection between Big Pharma and government. And the more that we move towards socialized medicine, the bigger this problem becomes. It sounds great, free healthcare, but the truth is nothing is for free. Especially not healthcare. And in fact, free healthcare will be the most expensive healthcare we've ever seen. Back in the day, you could afford to buy healthcare, just like you could afford to buy a lot of things, like college education. Now, to make them more affordable, they've become so unaffordable that you have to have insurance, you have to have loans, because they're not affordable. So it's ironic. Things always do the opposite. And one of my biggest concerns about this digital pill is that the government is going to have control over what you put in your body. See, a lot of people, they don't take their medications. Maybe they take it and they have bad side effects, and they just don't let their doctor know because they don't want to be ridiculed. Like, oh, you need to take this. Things like that. So, a lot of times they just feel funny. They have, they give them mental problems, depression. They make them feel like they're not there, hallucinations, all kinds of stuff. And a lot of people, they just still let their doctor write the script, and they don't get them filled, things like that. And now the doctors are gonna know, and people are gonna be practically forced to take medicine that they don't want to take. And maybe some doctors will be like, hey, if you don't take this medication, I won't see you anymore. Or maybe the government will say, okay, well, we're providing your medical benefits, your Medicare, Medicaid. If you don't take this medicine that we're prescribing you, then you don't want help, and therefore we're not going to treat you anymore. So they're going to have more control over this whole process, and we're going to have less say in it. And it's already a really, narrow bandwidth that they send everyone through with this medical treatment that is failing. It's failing. The medical system in America is failing. We pay more than any other country. And you look at our infant mortality rate, it's among the highest of industrialized nations. You look at our life expectancy, it's among the lowest in industrialized nations. So we're getting ripped off. And now we're going to give them more power and more control over our own body. And just like things change over time, this is going to change over time. So for example, the US government was supposed to be a limited government, and over time it's been corrupted or whatever into what it is now, which is far from a limited government. It's not, the federal government is not small. They have powers that the founders didn't ever want the federal government to have. The revolution was over like a 2% tax on tea. There were no income taxes. They weren't fighting against income taxes. That would have been preposterous. Now we're taxed, 30 something percent, in some cases on our income. So this is how these things change over time. The Federal Reserve, look 100 years later, the dollar has lost like 97% of the value, and it's supposed to make it stable. Immediately after the Federal Reserve was enacted, we had the Great Depression and things like this, So there are unintended consequences. A lot of times when the government gets involved, pretty much everything is a failure. They don't know what they're doing. It's a disaster. So, this could get to the point where, okay, you get in some legal trouble, and now we give you this psychotropic drug, and if you don't take it, go to jail. And if the drug makes you more crazy than you already were, so what? And then you have people go out in there, and they're shooting up the places because one of the side effects of the drug is homicidal tendencies. So, that's where this is going. If you, kids are put on drugs like Ritalin because they're being forced to sit still in a boring classroom learning about stuff that they don't care about and then they're never going to use, and they know that. And then they medicate them to make it easier for the teacher to control them all, and the population is medicated to make it easy for the government to control them all. And if you don't take your medication, we can know about it now, and it's getting scary. It's like literally 1984, the Orwellian state, but also a Brave New World where they're just popping the somas in the book. They're popping these pills to make them love their servitude, and it's gonna be able. They're gonna be able to monitor whether you're taking your pills or not, and this is a step in the wrong direction. There are so many natural things out there that the FDA we're unable to make progress on. And meanwhile, these, drugs with sensors in them are being pushed forward. So I just want to bring this to everyone's attention so that we can start noticing these. We can learn, like, okay, this is against freedom. This is against privacy. This is against the individual's rights. This is giving more power to the state, more power to big pharma, more power to this medical system that is failing. Even though we've never had more medical treatment ever before, you know. I mean, we're born in hospitals now. It used to be rare, you know. And then we're injecting babies with poisons on the day that they're born, and we didn't do that long before. We're getting way more medical treatment than ever before, and we're sicker than ever before. And then now they can make sure that you're taking it. And you know, who knows where this is going to go? Whether, you know, how legally are they going to enforce it? You know, if you commit a crime, you got to take this drug. If you you know, if you think outside the box, you know, you're some crazy paranoid conspiracy theorist and whatever, then, you know, they put you on this, you know, whatever drug. You know, if you bring up these conspiracy theories to your high school teacher, and your high school teacher recommends, you know, some drug, and the next thing you know, I mean, who knows? You know, if you want to keep your children, you know, you got to take this drug. I mean, they will have a stranglehold over people, and people will lose one of the most precious things that they have, and that's the right to choose what goes into their body. And if they know, if it gets to where the government and big pharma can monitor what you put in there, then they can regulate what you put into your body. And that's the frightening thing. That's why we need to be aware of this and be able to notice when these things are taking place, so that way we can consciously say, hey, look, this is anti-freedom. We need to go towards the direction of freedom. So with that in mind, you know, give me a thumbs up if you like this video, if you want me to keep on doing videos, if you want me to keep on doing videos about things that come up like this. You know, that's how I know. That will encourage me to keep on doing more videos. And if you don't like me doing videos on things like this, then, you know, let me know what you would like for me to cover in the comments below. And also, you know, this is a much bigger topic. I'm trying to keep it short here. So if you have any other thoughts or concerns about this digital pill, let us know in the comments below. And of course, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm just now gaining momentum, and the more subscribers I get, the more motivated I become to continue producing great videos for the world to see. Thanks so much for watching.